What's up, everybody? It's Soren Baker.
Amir, Rahimi.
And this week on The Great Debaters, man, Ice-T Home Invasion. Getting ready to talk about this one. All right, Amir, so we're back here on The Great Debaters. If you haven't already, please subscribe to Unique Access Entertainment right down there, and it's free, and that really helps the cause. Now, Amir, Ice-T Home Invasion. Ice-T is somebody that we've supported and done a lot of stuff with. Ice has given me so many great interviews over the years for Unique Access, among other places. Check out one of my interviews with Ice right there. But he's phenomenal. Pioneer of gangster rap. He's all throughout my book, The History of Gangster Rap, deservedly so, and obviously so. But Home Invasion was his first album after the Body Count controversy, after leaving the Sire Warner Brothers Records label, and first with Priority and Rhyme Syndicate Records as its own entity. So, Amir, how, when, and why did you first get exposed to this Home Invasion project?
Got exposed to it because I was listening to all of his stuff. So,
as you should.
Ryan Pays, Power, Freedom of Speech, Watch What You Say, and OG. Actually, believe it or not, OG was the first album I'd heard from Ice-T, because I remember hearing the OG original Gangster on YouTube. Is either that or Power was the first one I heard, but I remember the first song I heard was OG original Gangster on YouTube.
Fourth album.
Isn't that nuts? So yeah, I was a little all over the place way back in the day, but got to this one, and really dope stuff. Always loved the cover. Thought the cover was iconic and just super dope, and I feel like a lot of hip-hop fans probably feel like that's them on the cover mainly. I know
people have said in the comments, they're like, Soren, they drew you on the cover. So
kind of looks like you, Soren.
I always thought that was pretty funny. So yeah, shout out to all the people who say that and I thought that.
Yeah, so I thought the cover was also super dope, but I mean, the album Ice-T is, although, you know, he's sold well too, I think he's still one of the more underappreciated artists. Maybe people think of him more as an actor now rather than a rapper, which is interesting to think, but I guess you can make that case because he's been acting for a long time. But anyways, I'll get into one of my tracks, and that will be That's How I'm Living. I have this one on CD single, and this song, I don't know if it's my favorite song on the album. There's a lot of just great songs on here, but it's definitely the top three, and it's just awesome. I love these tracks where rappers give a little bit about their story.
Right.
And Ice-T, he's given us a lot of parts of his life throughout his discography and his catalog. And even like he says on the song, he said he was from Jersey, but nobody heard him, wanted to hear him. And he just goes on and on about his life. And I really like how you get to see, you know, his depiction of his life, how, you know, he lost his parents at a young age, how he moved out west, how, you know, we may call it a gang, he called it a set. And he's talking about other ways that he was getting money, whether through this or that. You know, he eventually ended up going in the pimp game. He was going in and out of prison. He was like, you know what, I got to stop this. I got to figure out my life. And he had to put down the gun, pick up the mic. And I thought that was just a great line. Ice-T is very good with his wordplay, and you'll hear that for sure on this song. And, you know, not only are the lyrics pretty powerful, strong, you know, eye-opening, and probably a lot of people related to what he was saying. Not me, but I'm sure some people have. And, you know, it shows you that there is, like, another way, right? Or that, you know, may seem impossible, but this is what I did, right? And that's dope. But then the beat is also super dope as well. Like, the beat is awesome, so shout out to Aladdin, SLJ, and Ice-T. But the beat is freaking dope, and I just love this track, man. It's a really good one, and it's one of the premier songs in his catalog, in my opinion. So that's my first pick.
I agree. That's How I'm Living is one of my picks off Home Invasion. The beat, let's just start there, is phenomenal and eerie. And then it's one of my favorite beats, if not my favorite beat on the album. But then on top of that, Ice's delivery with kind of the spoken word thing that he's done several times throughout his career, and up to this point in his career, he had done it regularly on his projects. But the way he does it here, it's just a very chilling, kind of detached, but also forceful way. It said it was from Jersey. He said it before, but I think nobody heard me. Like Amir was saying, like that really sets the stage of this whole story of him being orphaned and then moving out and not having love in the house that he was growing up in when he relocated to Los Angeles. I think does an amazing job of really setting a picture for who Ice-T is and how he got into a life of crime and then got into a life of rhyme. And I think it's just pretty awesome to really trace his story like that, because getting to know Ice over the years and talking to him and hanging out with him multiple times over the years and doing a lot of great interviews, and then just talking to him about life on the side of that. He's a very insightful person, and I think it's no surprise that he's so successful because he's very thoughtful. And like me, he's never drank, he's never done any drugs, so he's very clear with his thinking, and I think that's enabled him to kind of navigate and deal with relocating across the country, losing both his parents, being an orphan, having to figure out and navigate gang culture, street life, and then moving into entertainment, and now being the longest running live action actor on a TV show in television history is remarkable. So That's How I'm Living is, I think, a masterpiece, and definitely check out Ice and I talk about many of his songs on his Crime Stories triple disc vinyl. So there's the link for that too if you haven't checked that out. Definitely That's How I'm Living is one of his best crime stories, I would say. So that's our first pick. Amir, what's your second pick on Home Invasion?
Second pick is going to be this one right here. I Ain't New to This.
Yeah.
Woo! Man, this song is freaking awesome. Once again, the beat is fantastic on this one. Ice-T goes super hard on this track. He goes in with authority per usual, and really liking this. Like, we're in That's How I'm Living, where he was maybe like a little more laid back with how he was rhyming. This one, he was definitely more forceful. And, you know, when he says, get your punk ass dropped, and he, you know, kind of yells it a little bit more, or he just, it's just louder. I like that a lot. I love the scratching. The chorus is dope. I love the sample as well. Hopefully we get a smack for that. Just a very hard, dope song, and just Ice-T flexing his guns, you know. Also like how he shouts out Gangster. You know, Ice-T does shout out quite a few artists in his songs throughout his career, which I really like. Some people don't do that so often, so it's always cool to see like who rappers respected, who they're maybe hanging out with, who they're making songs with, or whatever, who they admired. And Ice-T definitely did that on quite a few songs throughout his career. But I Ain't New to This is just amazing. And once again, I mean, he was right. This is what, 93? He's 5 albums in, you know? And that's his solo albums, not counting body counts and, you know, whatever else. So,
and all the stuff he had done before Rhyme Pays that, you know, was the electro hop / before being on a major label, when he was more the party breaking type of stuff, Cold Wind Madness era and all that.
Yeah.
So he's been putting it down almost as long as the guys who created the culture. So it's kind of crazy when you think about it that way.
Yeah, and that's my second pick.
Yes, I Knew This is also one of my picks. And starting with the music and the sonics of it, I love the chorus and the Flavor Flav and the scratching. And with Flavor Flav, it ties into the sound, like kind of that kind of siren-y horn wild thing that's very Public Enemy-esque, ties into Flavor Flav, but then it also ties in to his allegiance and alliance with Public Enemy, that he shouts out Chuck D repeatedly. They shout out each other. They're very close friends, and I got to hang out with both of them a couple times over the years when they've been together. So they have a genuine kinship bond, friendship, etc. So it's nice to hear that they clearly have influenced each other, and to hear it on I Ain't New to This, I think, is another stamp of that. And the forcefulness of Ice-T, again, compared to That's How I'm Living, where it's the more laid back, like Amir was saying, this is more of him rapping. And the forcefulness of Ice-T, because of his smooth player persona that you get on a lot of songs, to get the opposite of that on I Ain't New to This, where it's a lot more venomous and angry. I thought was a nice change of pace too, because Ice is very versatile, and I think he's definitely one of the greatest rappers of all time. Doesn't get a lot of discussion of that, but these first 5 albums show you that he's up there, and there's very few artists that have 5 albums of this caliber, especially consecutively and period. So there you go. Those are our first 2 picks. Amir, what's your third pick on the Home Invasion project?
My third pick, man, gotta be 99 Problems. There's
Shocked.
a couple other songs that were fighting for it. If Soren doesn't talk about one of them, I'll just briefly shout it out. But 99 Problems is one of mine. Also, you got Brother Marquise on there. And, man.
Rest in peace, Brother Marquise.
Oh, yeah, R.I.P., man.
Check out my interviews with him. Incredible dude. Glad to chop it up with him.
So, I love, once again, like, the beat is awesome on this, too. The beat is sick, and I think it's one of those songs that, up to this point, or up to the 2 songs that I just mentioned, they're not really comical at all. I wouldn't say.
No.
So this one has quite a bit of comedic element to it for sure. Where he's saying, "I got a girl who does this, but the other girl can't do that. I got the girl does this, but this one can't do that, or whatever." Even the one like, "I got a chick who play piano, a bitch who don't." Like what? I'm just like what? And then you get Brother Marquise
some odd things that they do and don't do.
Yeah, man, dude.
Seemingly odd.
It's funny, and then it's like I said, it's pretty comedic, but you're not hearing them laughing, right? But that's great. And then the iconic line, "But a chick ain't one. I got 9 problems, a chick ain't one." And then I probably, like a lot of people my age or younger or even slightly older, whatever, they probably heard the Jay-Z song first.
Right.
So I'd heard the Jay-Z song 99 Problems, same title, around the time that it came out. And I remember thinking, damn, this is one of the best songs on the album. It is so good. And I still think that's his day. I think it's a great song. But it wasn't until years later, I feel like I may have saw it on a YouTube comment or someone said something like, Ice-T did it better. I'm like, Ice-T did this song? Like, I know because I was still pretty new to listening to rap at that time. This is like 2003 was when the Jay-Z song came out. And, or whatever. I don't remember. But,
yeah, it's 2003.
So then I'm seeing people talking about the Ice-T song. I'm like, which song? And I looked up, I was like, what the hell? And then there were quite a few similarities. It wasn't just the name of the song. So I was like, well, I still love the Jay-Z song, but this Ice-T song is freaking amazing. It is so good. And I think part of that, because I love the Jay-Z song and listen to the Ice-T song and be like, damn, this is equally, if not better, than the Jay-Z one. And this shit is like, definitely, in my opinion, even more relevant. Because as you can see in the, if you want to call it a chorus, whatever, but the ending line to the verse, I'm like, they're only talking about women.
Right.
But then they say they diss the men too, because men can be bitches too. So they say that too. So I just think
Which was a song on the OG album, of course, Bitches Too. So yeah.
Yes. Yep. There you go.
Another tie-in.
Another tie-in. So the song is awesome. It's hilarious. Brother Marquise was dope on it too. Ice-T was freaking awesome, and it's just very much like nothing is forced. It's very much in the pocket of how they both rap, and Ice-T talking about being in the pimp game in That's How I'm Living as well. You can kind of probably see some of the similarities in his rhymes here. So just an awesome song, and that's my third pick.
99 Problems is not one of my picks, although I thoroughly enjoy it. Mine is Got a Lot of Love. So this song is so good. Shout out to Donald D, producing it with Ice, Rhyme Syndicate member, and you can check out my interview with Donald D there if you haven't already. Amazing artist, and he keeps putting out great music too. But Got a Lot of Love, of course, has a lot to do with the gangs and gang violence and the gang reality in Los Angeles. And Ice is celebrating the truce and celebrating the positivity that had come out with the gang truce in 92 in particular. And that, to me, is the best type of gangster rap, the thinking man's gangster rap, when you really get to look at and examine it as Ice-T has done excellently throughout his career. The highs and the lows, the pains, and the heartbreak. It's not just, oh, I'm living and I'm getting away with all this stuff. No, there's a lot of pain, there's a lot of death, there's a lot of hurt. It's not just this glorifying gangsterism. In fact, Ice is very much against that, and Got a Lot of Love is yet another example of that. And he's showing the power in the unity of the gangs. And he shouts out several dozen, which I also thought was pretty cool to make sure from both the Blood and the Crip side. And I just thought the song was really good. And again, Donald D, I think, did a great job on the production, working with Ice in hand on that. So I was just very glad to have that song on this album, and the fact that Ice, who has talked a lot about gang-related stuff on his material, I thought he did a great job. So that's my third pick. Amir, did you want to add anything on Got a Lot of Love?
That actually, in my opinion, I think it's probably the second best song on the album. It's just not one of my. It's not one of my top three favorite. This is like with 99 Problems, it's 3A and 3B. Okay. And this was a song where I was like, I want to talk about it if not, but It's also one of those songs that it's sometimes you hear a song similar to this, maybe not about gangs, but something about, unity, and it may be a little more corny or cliche. This is not one of those songs. I think it's very clever. You can hear Ice-T is genuinely happy. Right. He even says, like, he kind of alludes to, like, this is like kind of like the best day or best era ever. He also signals that by unifying, we can actually do so much together. It's just a very touching song, and once again, the beat is awesome too. But it's really, really, you can tell he was like having tears of joy, and you can really tell by the words. He made it a single. You can see this cover right here where you got the red and the blue flag with the handshake in the middle. You got the cover right there that Soren is holding up now with red and blue, images of his face. So, he's very much trying to be down the middle, equal, and he's also putting, facts on record. So, very awesome stuff, and definitely, in my opinion, it has to be a top 3 best song on the album without, your favorites and this and that. So I'm happy that was one of your picks.
Yes. So now you got Amir's 3 favorite and best songs, and mine, and the best songs from me. So there you go. So Home Invasion. Those are our picks. Definitely hit us up in the comments section. Let us know what you think. If you haven't already, please subscribe to Unique Access. Please support us any way you can. Tell a friend, get them to subscribe, and get these views up for us so we can get to that #1 spot in the game. I'm Soren Baker.
Amir, Rahimi.
Great debaters, y'all, and shout out to Ice-T, George Hinojosa, and the whole Rhyme Syndicate crew for Home Invasion, y'all.